Hello everyone, this is my second video on my Bravo decklist from Bet Hard in Bologna. And as you can see here on the link to February list, I made matchups for every hero in the game currently, except for Arachne. So you can go to the link in the description and see exactly which cards are in what matchups. And in this video, I'll go over the sideboard cards quickly and basically say why I put them there and for what matchups. So to repeat from the last video, I have 52 cards in main board, so 40 blues and 12 reds, which you play in every matchup. And of course, our basic equipment is full armor, so no arcane barrier. This is the sideboard. I have 3 Null and I only play 3 Null in Kano matchup. Against Icelander, I only put in the boots. And for the actual card, first card is Chokeslam, and Chokeslam is really good in this meta, but in any meta, I'd say. So I would think of a Chokeslam now more of a main board card. So it's good versus Guardians, it's amazing versus aggro decks, and with the stat line of cost 4 and 8 damage, it is useful in sort of mid-range matchups like Dory or even Reiner. But of course, versus Reiner, it's good against Bloodrush Bellow turns and Barraging Beatdown's Pummels. So in future, I would consider Chokeslam a main board card. Crush the Week seems weird. It's in because of Fi, and without Belittle, Bars and Israel are playing less 3 attack cards. But the card is so good against Fi, and I think that the Fi matchup isn't that heavily in favor for Bravo. Actually, I would say it's more of a 50-50. And these two Crush the Weeks provide that extra utility, because on a 2-card hand, you present 7 damage with really relevant on hit, because most of Fis nowadays don't play Soaring Strike or that many 4 attack cards. And also Crush the Week has its merit against slower decks, because it's 2 cards per 7 damage, which is pretty good. And in matchups where you need more than 60 cards, it's also good because it blocks 3 and pitches for Anatos as well, to somewhat preserve threats for late game. And it can also be pummeled to get the discard effect, which we don't have with Anatos. Usually I played 1 Debilitate instead of these 2 Crush the Weeks, and 1 more Unmovable. But Crush the Week provides more utility in the matchup it is needed, that is Fi, and in other matchups it's not that much worse than Debilitate. Next I play 4 0-cost defense reactions, 3 Sink Belows and 1 Fate Foreseen. 4 is enough, I'd say. Against Fi, it's more important to have a relevant on-hit rather than a defense reaction. And against Fi, I put 4 defense reactions and 3 Chokeslam plus 2 Crush the Week. As I said before, against aggro, I side out the Unmovable, which isn't useful in those matchups. And 4 D-Reacts are enough versus Guardian, and I also play them versus Lexi and Reiner, which I'm not 100% sure it's correct, but I love having a 0-cost D-React in Arsenal against Pulping. And against Lexi, it's weird because of the Frostbites and Channel Lake Rigids, but sometimes you need to pitch on their turn anyway for chilling Icewind, so pitching 1 more for D-React is fine. Against Dorinthia, I played 1 Dorinthia, and 4 D-Reacts is enough because we have a red Unmovable as a failsafe. So if things get out of control versus Dorinthia, 1 Unmovable from Arsenal is usually enough to stop their snowball. I would like to take Polarize here. So Polarize is going first. It's in every matchup except Fi. Although I think it's potentially good versus 5, but turn 0 I would rather search Crippling Crush and create a seismic to play it off 2 blues the following turn, and Arsenal whatever we draw from Showtime. So in that case, always keep 2 blues in hand so you can play Crippling Crush from Arsenal. And if you happen to draw red, you Arsenal it. If you draw blue, then you can dominate it. So never hold 3 cards to safely dominate a Crippling Crush in this scenario, because you can draw a 4th blue and that blue would go to Arsenal, and that's not good. Oasis Respite and the Sigil of Solace are mainly for Icelander matchup, because I only play 1 null rune. I need something to keep me healthy, and 3 Sigils are pretty good for that. And 2 Oasis Respites are insane versus Icelander until they see that I play them, because 1 Oasis from Arsenal with Arcane Barrier 1 stops whatever color 8 Icewind is headed our way, and until they see Oasis Respite, they will usually take some damage to play 8 Icewind, and if we stop whole damage, we keep tempo in our favor, and this card is really a punish against that play. Also against Icelander, I play Zealous Belting. So Icelander was my most played matchup in Battle Hardened, and 2 Aces, 3 Sigils and 3 Zealous is enough with 1 Arcane Barrier. Zealous Belting is also good in matchups we need more damage in, so against Dash, pressure her until she draws her items. And Zealous Belting is also in versus Dromai, where we need to kill multiple dragons in a turn, or a Dragon Plus on Passing Mirage. So if they set up Invoke Mirogai or Mirogai with an aura, we need to kill the Mirogai and an aura in the same turn. So that's where Zealous Belting is good. I've seen people saying that put Zealous in Arsenal, I let it chill there until we see double threat on dragons, but I think it's better to play it before and put pressure on Dromai from the start of the game, and once they have 2 must-kill targets, then you block and kill a dragon with a hammer, put an arsenal, and move on, because they won't have they have 3 mirror guys and 3 auras, and you can afford a few turns off to clear those. And the last card I haven't talked about is Smashing Good Time. It's only in versus Dash, and that's because I'm usually a Dash player, and I always felt comfortable versus Bravo with 6 0 cost reacts and a few unmovables and not red in the ledger, reinforce the line. So from Bravo's side, I also feel good versus Dash, which is a bit ironic, but not that good to not play Smashing Good Time. I think this card, if it's drawn early enough, is an auto win versus Dash, because if you break their only chamber in the first few turns, they can't really pressure you back unless they start to boost, and if they boost, they have a chance of hitting their D reacts and items. So you can pivot from there, but the card is a complete flip, let's say. So if you draw it early, you should win every single Dash game. And if you draw it later, it's still decent. It's 0 for 3, but it does require a turn to set up. And when you set it up, you can always dominate it. And in the late game, if they're still on 1 chamber only and have a few purifiers out, destroying that chamber is also pretty strong. So yeah, that is the quick explanation of every card in the sideboard. As I said before, here under matchups, we have a matchup for every hero, so even from Azalea, Mirror versus Bravo, basically every other hero. If you have any questions, you can ask them either in the comments below or ask me on Discord. I'm fairly regular in the Bravo Discord, so you could find me there. And that's it for this quick sideboard guide. Thank you for watching, and